Hello, everyone, and welcome to our candidate forum for City of Miami District 5. My name is Dr. Naomi Blemire, and it is a pleasure for us to host this forum right here at Balancing Life Workspace in the city of North Miami. As all of you already know, we are extremely passionate about keeping our Haitian community engaged during every election cycle. Se pouvoir nou, se vote nou, se nou menm ki pou konen ki es nou pal chwazi e ki es nou pal mette kom komisyoner, magistrat ou councilman ou councilwoman ki pa jere zafè nou nan vil kote ke nou ete a. We have all heard that all politics is local, and absolutely it begins right in the city that we live. And for specifically for this race, it is the City of Miami Commissioner seat number 5. I am so happy to be joined today with my co-host, Mr. Anthony Bonami, who has been here with us from the beginning, always ensuring that we do this together. Mr. Anthony Bonami is the founder of AB Consulting Solutions with over 10 years of experience in government affairs. He has knowledge in various phases of municipal business tax, risk management, real estate, municipal budget, local, state, and national political campaigns, and grassroots organizing. He's a former administrative assistant for Miami-Dade County School Board, the 4th largest school district in the United States, and former chief of staff for the city of Miramar, a city with 140,000 residents, 1,000 employees, and an operating budget of $256 million. Welcome, Mr. Bonami. Thank you so very much for being here.
Thank you so much, Miss Naomi. I have the pleasure of being a host for this forum. Each time I participate in these forums, I'm reminded how far we have come as a community. When I say community, I mean everyone of the African diaspora. Not too long ago in America, Blacks were fighting for the rights to vote, and we are now competing as candidates to be defined as leaders in this great nation we all love. Each candidate today has a distinctive voice that they will add to the conversation of how we define ourselves as American and where our values lie. This is an important discussion that will inform the voters when they make their choice on November 2nd. If there is one recommendation I can make to the listening audience, is that they should all go out to vote. Your vote is your voice. That is why there have been many bills passed around the country attempting to limit your voice. Florida Senate Bill 90 has drastically reformed how election rules can affect our daily lives, especially in campaign. For example, to offer a bottle of water or snacks at a polling site now has changed, and we can't offer that for those who are standing in line. That's why I urge you to listen to the candidates today and their solutions they bring to the problems you face daily, and then vote. Vote for the future you are being offered by these candidates before you. I thank you for tuning in to another forum presented by BL Consulting. Thank you so much for having me here, Ms. Naomi.
Thank you, Anthony. It is a pleasure to work with you, and we appreciate all of the great work that you're doing in our Haitian American community. At this time, we have 5 of the 6 candidates that confirmed. We're going to begin right now with 4 of them present, and we are just looking to have an exciting discussion about seat number 5 in the city of Miami. We want to hear about them as individuals, the work that they've done in the community, and their vision for the city. One of my favorite proverbs is, without a vision, the people perish. So if there is not a leader with a set vision and who has a plan on how they're going to execute the vision, guess what? Nous tous n'a péri, et nous pas péri. And I want to make sure that as we continue today's forum, I want to let all the listeners know that as we go between English and Creole, If for whatever reason one of the candidates chooses to express themselves in Creole, we will have it translated directly to them. Again, thank you so very much for joining. And if you're tuned in right now, please share the live. Share it with someone who lives in District 5. Share it with someone who has a business in District 5. Share it with someone who may be interested in moving to District 5. Or maybe someone who's just interested about Little Haiti as a city and how we are going to continue to develop our arts and culture as Haitian Americans in that area. Share, share, share. At this time, I'm going to turn it back to Mr. Bonami, who's going to introduce our candidates.
Okay. For the first candidate I will be introducing will be Mr. Francois Alexandre. He is the candidate for District 5. Mr. Francois, you can start.
Thank you, Dr. Blamer. Thank you, Anthony, for this opportunity to be among you all. I'm very excited, not just to be here with y'all, but to be here with the rest of the candidates. Usually what they'll say is that when you're in a race with folks, you're not supposed to be talking to them. But we talk on a daily basis because why? We're from District 5. All of us are from District 5. So, it's important if one of us win. It's also important others, if we don't win, that we still stick together and push the community's agenda. So with that being said, my name is Francois Alexandre. I was born in IET. I was raised in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, moved to Miami, by where I got a degree at FIU. Florida, it is international relations, minor in mass communication. And when I spent the last 10 years working in the nonprofit industrial complex, dealing with social issues, advocacy, pushing policies. And I'm somebody who's very frustrated of today's time, realizing that everything we worked on hasn't been passed, and believe that District 5, City of Miami, Black people itself needs a win, needs a leadership, needs a representation of what is futuristic, especially when it comes to the blue-green economy, climate change, affordable housing, economic development, and reducing the violence, period. So not only am I here to do that, but I'm also here to speak to the generation that matters, the youth, because without them, tomorrow is not promised. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Francois. Next, we will have Dr. Stephanie Thomas, who will make her introductions.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Blamer, for having this platform for us. And thank you, Anthony, for being here. Balancing life is what we're about, right? That's what we need in life. So I appreciate being on this platform and sharing my background with everyone. So with that being said, my name is Dr. Stephanie Thomas. I have lived in the district and was born in the district. I was born at Jackson Memorial Hospital. My parents migrated from Haiti back in the 60s, and we first moved into Overtown. And once we moved there, I was the second child to be born, and the landlord asked us to move. So we were in a one-bedroom apartment, and my parents decided to purchase a home right by Edison High School. From there, we bought our second home in 1978, and to this day, I'm still in that home. So preservation is something I do have in my, that's a passion for me. And of course, everyone says, leave your platform to 4, but we have so many things to address in our community. But my 4 platform is basically safety, economic development, healthcare, and affordable housing. Not the affordable housing that we all talk about, but real affordable housing for our constituents. We're such a diverse community, a diverse culture. So I am about equitability. I'm about building bridges and collaboration. And I look further to speak on those items later.
Thank you so much, Dr. Thomas. Next, we will have the infamous Mr. Michael Hepburn.
I like the intro.
Mr. Hepburn, you can take off.
Cool. Thank you for that, my brother. So hello, everyone. My name is Michael A. Hepburn. I know, right? My name is Michael A. Hepburn, and as you know, I am running to become the next City of Miami Commissioner from District 5. Now, this is the cool part. In 1982, my mom moved to a public housing complex on 54th Street, Northeast Miami Place, which is in the heart of Little Haiti, right? So I actually grew up in Little Haiti, went to Tucson Lower Trail Elementary School, started the first Boy Scout troops in Little Haiti, which was Troop 80, back when I was in 6th grade. In our neighborhood, learned the hard knock life of some good lessons at our Lemon City Park when I was playing my basketball and playing my football, right? Used to catch my jitney to get to different locations and walk to 54th Street for the 54 bus Used to cut through Sable Palm Village to try to get to Publix, to try to get healthier options to eat. So I understand the district. I understand my blocks. I understand that neighborhood. I understand my people because they are me. I am them, right? I am running for office because y'all told me that our government needs to be about putting people first. I am running for office because we literally walked every single block in this district and had real conversations about rehabbing, developing, and preserving affordable housing, about making sure that we are spurring economic and workforce development. We talked about options as far as how we investing in our kids and helping them develop skill sets that they can monetize. Y'all told me we need to start treating gun violence as a public health crisis in this district. And you made me understand that we need to build a city that is cultivating our young folks, but protecting our elders. Because if we do both of those, everyone in between would be just fine, right? So that is why I am pushing forth this vision. That is why I am here today with my counterparts, pushing this message of the importance of you voting. That is why I'm asking you to make sure you activate and mobilize and inspire people in our district to make a difference, because we are you. I am you. You are us. And when you have representation on the dais that looks like you, talks like you, walk those neighborhoods that you are in, then you are represented. When you don't have that same type of representation on the dais, then your voice is not heard. Your concerns are not met. Your family is not necessarily in the best situation for the high quality of life that you deserve. So thank y'all so much for allowing me to have this intro.
Thank you so much, Mr. Michael Hepburn. Next, we will have Mr. Zico Fremont.
Thank you for having me here. Good afternoon. Bonsoir. My name is Zico Fremont. I'm running for commissioner for the city of Miami, District 5. I was born and raised in Little Haiti. I went to Morningside Elementary School, went to Horseman Middle, and Miami Edison Senior High School. I played football. Moi, je jouais football too. And I'm running for commissioner because I see what's been going on. I see who's been included and not included. And I realize that not included is part of the majority of our Haitian diaspora in Miami. So we would like to implement more of a togetherness with the development going on in the city of Miami. We're looking at this camera, that camera. Perfect. We want to work together with the new innovation in the city of Miami. And we would like to implement affordable housing, livable wages, and public safety. And that's my core issues. Another issue I realize is that with gentrification and the global climate change, we need to know what's going on. We need to translate that, implement that to the Haitian community, and make sure everything and what's said is being shared together and being understood together. Thank you, everyone, and I'm ready to go on.
Zico.
Thank you so much, Mr. Zico Fremont. I believe there was Commissioner Jeffrey Watson was on his way. He should be here shortly. And I'll pass the mic back to my colleague, Naomi Blamire.
Excellent, guys. Thank you so much for your introductions, and we're going to get right into it, beginning with our first question for the candidates for today. And the first question reads, why are you running for City of Miami Commission District 5, and what makes you the best candidate for this seat? We're going to begin with Monsieur Francois.
Merci un peu, Louis. Bon, c'est même à l'école. À cause de nous commencer à j'ai toujours appris ma première. I'm ready for that. Thank you so much for that question. The reason why I'm running for District 5 is because of my resilience. In terms of my character, what has happened to me in District 5, and how I plan on taking that atrocity or that trauma into positivity for the folks in District 5. So for me, it's important that District 5 is in dire need of the right representation. The transformation that's going on right now in District 5 is not being done by folks who has built District 5, folks like Michael Hepburn, right? Let's just say that. Right? So what we're saying here is that we're not getting a piece of the pie. Miami is quote unquote going to be what we call a world-class city, and they're waiting for District 5 development to be part of it. And now, more than ever, Black Miami, the African Americans and the Haitians that live in District 5 needs a representation to make sure that they have the right affordable, not housing, but living that's tied into an economic development base that can help sustain their job wages, and in return, be able to have an affordable lifestyle. It's important to meet that gap and to make sure that we can also reduce the amount of violence that's going on in our community. As I lay my head down to sleep, and I have a 2-year-old son at the house, I can hear the gunshots. Not just hear gunshots, I can hear the cars at night going off just because leaving tire squeakings on the floor. Because why? There is no, in terms of police, the right policing in the city. So for me, it's important that I take my experience in District 5 and lead them to usher a new dawn and new beginning by bridging better community government.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. We're going to go to Dr. Stephanie. Same
you.
question.
So the reason I decided to run for office were a plethora of things that I noticed in my district. After becoming redistricted back in 2013, we moved from District 2 to District 5. Some of the balance in that community is not equitable. It's some of our other neighborhoods are thriving more than other neighborhoods, and I find a problem with that. It's a problem when a child comes up to me and say, "Why is that neighborhood looking much better than the neighborhood that I'm in?" So equitable ability and balance is very important to me. Also, with healthcare being my passion, I know we have clinics in our neighborhood, but we don't have an urgent care or several urgent care. When my husband was sick, his choice of urgent care was to go to Miramar. Why should we have to go to Miramar for urgent care after 6 o'clock, right? So there are different aspects in the city that need some fine tuning and some tender loving care. And I believe as a mother, as a parent, I see the needs of our community, and every need in every neighborhood is different. And like I said before, we have a very diverse cultural community. So every need of our individuals and our residents should be listened to and also address them in different ways. I notice also we need to probably enforce more code enforcement. That's one of the things that our residents have complained about, that we don't have code enforcement in our areas, and also the illegal dumping. So those are just some of the issues that I realized that need some addressing, and being on the dais and being at the table will help speak on behalf of others that are not able to speak and communicate.
And just before we go to Mr. Hepburn, we just want to share with the viewers that we do have someone keeping time. Each question will be answered within 2 minutes. And if one candidate answers their questions in Creole, we do have someone who will translate for us. Vanessa is here with us. So we're going to go right to you, Mr. Hepburn.
Yes. So a couple reasons. I'm going to give y'all a little backdrop. So my family has been in the city of Miami since 1896. Right. So in the bloodline, the blood that runs through my veins helped build this city. Well, city of Miami. Right. So my dad's side of the family, which is my Hepburn name, came from Bahamas, settled in Coconut Grove, and then moved out throughout the South and the North and in Miami. But the cool part is this: public service is all I know, y'all. My mom was an early childhood education teacher and worked at the Miami Art Museum in downtown Miami. My dad used to work for HUD, or the public housing component of our federal government, and oversaw Liberty Square, Annie Coleman, Edison Courts, pretty much most of the public housing complexes that you see in the district, my dad used to work for, right? My sister went into healthcare. My cousins went into becoming firefighters and Miami-Dade County public school teachers. All I know is giving back, because that's what I was taught. My elders used to tell me 3 things. 1, the choices you make will dictate the life you lead. 2, if you are not at the table, you on the menu, as in say, if you are not helping making decisions, whatever, then somebody's making those decisions for you. And then 3, they used to tell me that a man of character presents 4 things. 1 is transparency. Another one is respect, accountability, was engagement. And then the last one, and they used to tell me all the time, is being trustworthy, right? So when I talk about service, when I talk about being a servant leader, I'm talking about giving out those treats, being transparent, being accountable, being engaged, being trustworthy, right? And then I'm not running for office based upon what I will do. I'm running for office based upon the stuff that I've already done. So being a civic activist in this district, walking these blocks, serving these neighborhood associations, activating our people is just an extension of who I am, who my family is, and what we will continue to be moving forward. So it is definitely a great opportunity to serve, and that's why I'm running.
Excellent. We're going to go to Mr. Fremont at this time.
I'm running because I was born and raised in this community, Little Haiti, and I see all the changes going on, what they call where the green grass grows, where it grows into fruitation. And our community is the one where we only got concrete and we won't have no flowers. It's a disappointment of the viewpoint I see going on in 2021, where there's no improvement in our community. So this is why I'm running. I'm running because my mom came from Haiti. My dad came from Haiti. They worked those service jobs, those hospitality jobs, those laundry jobs, just to get me where I'm at right now. Yes, well, I went to public school. Yes, I seen what the community has in positivity and in negativity, and I survived all that. And look where I'm at right now. I'm with the All Stars right now, and this is what I want to make sure pass on to the kids in our community, and make sure the new technologies, the new innovations going on in our community is passed on to our kids, and not just make it a special class. There should be standards so we can be in advancement with everything that's going on in the world. I don't want no one to be left out. This is why my motto is word is bond. Look where I came from. I came from the gutter, and look where I'm at right now. I'm with successful people. I did what I did because my parents believed in me, just like they believed on all that money they're saving up and disciplining me to become who I am right now. I am a product of my environment, and I would like this to be shared to everyone, and I would like to make our community much better than what it is right now by giving us that same opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Zico Fremont. Next, we will have another question posed to Mr. Francois. There's a wide range of issues plaguing the city of Miami. What are your priorities once you are elected?
Thank you so much for that question, brother. My priorities is affordable housing, tied in with affordable living. Currently, right now in District 5, especially in Little Haiti where I reside, you can see at night that there's a lot of folks on the streets not having a job, not having the proper training. And in the process of it, you've seen construction talking about tech. You've seen construction talking about cryptocurrency and so forth. So there's a lack of two things: lack of education in terms of economic development to make sure that the small businesses and new businesses can foster. And then you also have a problem with housing. Back in 2016, FIU did a study in regards to the lack of affordable housing, the gap in terms of looking at market rate mortgages versus the affordable workforce housing that the city was building. Matter of fact, the city's still behind from that. The Miami Forever bond that was passed, $400 million, $100 million of it allocated to affordable housing. That money is all clogged up. It hasn't been dispersed, especially with the pandemic now that you see. Now you have a whole bunch of the federal dollars coming down to the city to make sure not only to reinvest in infrastructure, but to reinvest in people, period. So for me, the most important three most pressing things is reducing the violence among the youth, providing more programs for them, making also be able to provide what they call vocational schooling if college is not an option, and last but not least, reducing, making sure that our elders can have a place to stay, right? At the same time, making sure that somebody like me at 35 years old can afford a house in Little Haiti.
Thank you, Mr. Francois.
You're welcome.
Next, the same question for Dr. Stephanie Thomas.
Okay, thank you. So I have a couple of priorities under my belt, and like I mentioned earlier, healthcare is one, because as you can see with COVID-19, in our district, we were one of the red zones where we had a lot of individuals that were impacted with COVID-19. So that's one of the issues that I will be addressing coming in as a commissioner, is the healthcare aspect of it, working with different and various organizations. The data shows that there's a need, there's a disparity in our community, and targeting those disparity is going to be important to me. And public-private partnership is definitely going to be something that's going to be important when putting something together as far as a strategy plan. As far as affordable housing, yes, we have a crisis of affordable housing in our community. The median for a home is about $546,000. Who can afford that with the salaries that some of these individuals, earn? It's not enough. And when we say affordable housing, really, what does that mean? We have developers coming in. We don't have the residents sitting at the table to help kind of, state what's on their mind, what they would like to see in our community. One of them is, affordable housing, infrastructure, traffic. When we're bringing all these components into our community, it's going to bring more of a population, and then we have no control. So someone has to be accountable for it. We have to make sure that we bring back dollars into our community and make sure that residents sit at the table to make sure that they can express what they're looking as far as benefits coming back into our community. And of course, safety. Safety is very important. That comes with infrastructure, with our police department, creating a committee that would help the community, and also bringing our HOAs together so that we're more engaged as a community.
Thank you so much, Dr. Thomas. Same question goes to Michael Hepburn. If you would like me to repeat the question.
Now I got you covered. I'm just going to spin it a little bit. So we need to actually convert that to what we're going to do as far as like I, as in the person, the commissioner, to what we are going to do. Because this is the concept, y'all. Voting for people, not holding them accountable, them coming around, giving you promises every 4 years and not being active, not being engaged gets us nowhere, right? That's the old model. The new model should be this. We, with your commissioner, is going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. We are going to activate, cultivate, financially allocate funds to 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So the concept is this. Last year, we did a listening tour. In the thick of COVID, I was walking around, passing out face masks, passing out hand sanitizer. But during that time, I wanted to have real conversations about what would you like to have addressed? And we was able to, in a sense, identify about 21 different areas. But of course, can't get a whole lot of stuff done if you're all over the place, right? So we wanted to be highly targeted on what could we do effectively, efficiently, and have the financial means to get it done. So we got it down to 11 initiatives within 4 pockets, right? First pocket was we're going to rehab, develop, and preserve 12,000 units of affordable housing. Second pocket was we're going to cultivate safe and sustainable neighborhoods. The third pocket was we're going to spur economic and workforce development. And the fourth was we are going to create something called a Miami Promise. If you graduate from Miami Edison, Miami Northwestern, Miami Jackson, or where my dad went, Booker T, we are going to cover your tuition and fees. As long as you graduate from high school, get accepted to a 2 or 4 year college or vocational program in the state, our Miami Promise, we are going to cover your tuition and fees. Now, when it comes down to those other pockets, I'm gonna give a quick plug. My website is www.michaelhepburn.com because, I can't tell you all in this short amount of time. So I want you to check that out. But remember those 4: rehabbing, cultivating, spurring, and Miami Promise.
Thank you, Mr. Hepburn. Mr. Zico Fremont, same question. If you'd like for me to repeat it.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Piggybacking to Michael Hepburn, pretty much we have the same issues and concerns: livable wages, affordable housing, and public safety. Also, what I like to include is youth, having youth programs, having youth development in our community. As a candidate that was born in Miami, I played soccer. I played soccer for Morningside, and I scored a lot of goals, by the way. Also, I was an Apple kid. That means before Apple was so popular to what it is right now, I was in a program in Little Haiti at Morningside Elementary, learning about computers, learning about HTMLs. Learn about RGB. We need to continue these programs here. And we believe that as us coming together, we will get these things together. We will get these things together and done. But if this development, this regentrification is going with their own status quo, and we don't implement ours and work together, there's going to be a confliction. So we need to come together, like Michael Hepburn said. We need to come together, and as locals from the community that's been in the community for a long time, we need to implement our main issues as well. And our main issues are coming from all of us right here. We clearly said the same thing. So let's put it on our agenda and let's get it happen. Let's make it done. Let's make it happen. Let's get it done. Let's make it happen. Let's get it done.
Okay, now I'm gonna switch it up a little bit and I'll move on to the next question, but this time we'll start with Mr. Zico Fremont. The first question would be, Haitian Americans make up third largest group in Miami-Dade County, and Little Haiti is home to a significant number of Haitians. As a commissioner, how will you integrate Haitian Americans into your administration? What is your plan to keep them engaged?
Oh, definitely they're going to be in the organization. La Union La Force.
Yep.
Yes. We're going to focus on some main issues in our Haitian community right now. First thing first, we rent a lot. And I understand, because as a Haitian American, I know the money my parents are making is not going to just America. We got to take care of family in Haiti. So we have to manage a way of living at certain times. But right now, this time is getting much expensive. It's getting much worse. So bringing in our Haitian team, my people, our people, will pretty much focus on some concerns, some regards of why being first new home buyer or being a property commercial owner is very difficult. So let's focus on this. If we come together and we have the same concerns in our Haitian community, and we're fixing it in America, I believe we will have the same results in our country, in Haiti as well. You see what's been going on. You've seen the agenda. It's been going on for a long time. They want to put the Haitian Creed down. But we will not go down. Why? Because La Union, La Force. Clearly, in America, with Americans, we the people, by the people, we'll get it done. My time is up. I wish I could speak more.
There you go.
Thank you, Mr. Zico Fremont. Next, the same question to Dr. Stephanie Thomas, doing a twister.
I see. Yeah. I was like, okay.
Yes, the next question is to Dr. Stephanie Thomas. Same question. As a commissioner, how will you integrate Haitian Americans into your administration? What is your plan to keep them engaged?
Thank you for the question. So I definitely will have an administration with Haitian Americans in my administration, as well as a representation of several cultures that's in our community. I want to be able to touch everyone, to hear their concerns. But that's important to me. If I'm not hearing it from the community, I won't know how to fix the problem, right? So yes, I will have a diverse administration in my office. What was the second question? I'm sorry.
How do you plan to keep them engaged?
So civic engagement is definitely important to me. I notice we have individuals that do not vote, that don't know the importance of voting someone that has quality into the seat. So that's one way. The other way is, of course, communication. We have a lack of communication when it comes to the speaking of a different language, right? We don't have the representation in the offices now for the Hispanics. I'm pretty sure that's covered, but for Creole speaking any other languages like Russian, and other languages, it's not being targeted.
Gotcha.
And the line of communication is very, very faulty in District 5. So I will definitely be focusing on that. And door to door, maybe that would be one way. Not everybody is tech savvy, so we have to find other ways, other strategies to reach our community, to share information and resources. So bridging that gap is important to me.
Thank you so much, Dr. Thomas. Next would be Mr. Francois Alexandre.
Mhm.
How will you integrate Haitian Americans into your administration, and what is your plan to keep us engaged?
Got you. So I got two examples, right? Examples of scenarios, right? Actually, not even scenarios, testimonies. So I was in Overtown, right? I was at the Lyric Theater, and this DJ, of course, when you grew up in the hood or wherever, the first thing when it comes to promotion, you gotta go straight to the DJ, any party. So I go up to the DJ, I get the DJ in my car. The DJ looked at it, looked at front and back, and said, "I'm gonna vote for you." I said, "Like that?" He's like, "I'm gonna vote for you." He said, "I'm gonna vote for you because for 7 years, Keon Hardeman has taken care of Overtown, has taken care of his community. And your community is in dire need of change, and if the change is not being done by you all, you need a Haitian in that seat." He said, "You're gonna vote for me." I just left early voting, right? Had a nice little mommy with an entire family, like 5 of them. They just finished voting. They came back over there. You know what she started saying? "Libam diri, libam poa, libam maï. Francois Alexandre toujours à bay manger dans la communauté." You
Hold
understand?
on, Francois. We're just going to get a quick translate with that.
Okay.
I can translate that.
I'm okay with that. We're changing my own stuff. It's okay, it's up to you.
So what he said is he gave me rice, he gave me
Yep.
say it again?
Beans.
Beans.
Yep.
And,
Chaque dernier samedi,
and every
il
day,
toujours à bay manger dans la communauté à
he's always
4
giving, every weekend he's always giving
Yep.
Food to the community
dans l'église de Pierre-Nel de Nazarene.
during church, after church.
Oui, non. Dans l'église de Pierre-Nel de Nazarene à 4 heures. Adresse là, c'est 5801 Nord-Ouest.
You ain't say all
Northeast
that.
Deuxième Avenue. Hey, that's just a shame plug-in. That's just plugging in my people to what I do in the community. You asked me how I'm gonna integrate Haitians, especially Haitian Americans, into an administration that's already not a melting pot, but what we call a rainbow coalition. So, which means that the diversity across the plane, it has something that we put together to talk about our common differences. However, the Haitian Americans, I've been tapping into the Haitian Americans for the past 5 years, making sure that they're part of not only the political process, but they're part of the social norm. So
Thank you so much, Mr. Francois Alexandre. Mr. Hepburn, same question goes to you.
Cool. I got you covered. So I'm gonna break it down into 4 different ways, right? One, our administration, my chief of staff would definitely be bilingual, so it'll be a woman, and most likely it's going to be a Black Haitian American woman, right? So I think I kind of got a feel for that. So my right hand in my office will be tied to our community, to our district. Second, we have a neighborhood service center at our Little Haiti soccer park. That neighborhood service center, as well as my other neighborhood service centers in our district, will be converted to my district offices. So my people in Little Haiti will have direct access to myself and my administration by going to that Little Haiti soccer park and being able to facilitate all avenues and all levels of government at that park through my office, right? 3, I am a walker, y'all. I walk blocks. That's all I know, right? And I've been doing that for like the last 10 years. I am a civic activist that's actually in neighborhoods. So my administration, our beautification team will be walking quarterly. We call it Hepburn on the block. You will see me every 3 months going through all 31 precincts to keep you engaged. We will change the concept of the Little Haiti Revitalization Trust. So that'll be a reset. So that appointment system will be changed. So my people that's actually in the district that is tied to these initiatives will be appointed to that board to oversee that $30 million plus that we have. Being engaged, being held accountable, being effective is one of the key reasons why I'm running. And it starts with making sure that we are people-centered and putting people first. So any policy that comes through my office that does not check that off on the box, please see my secretary because you're most likely not going to be able to talk to us.
Thank you so very much for all of those answers. Just really quick, we're going to go online and take a question from Jean-Marie Alexandre. The audience need to know how you guys are going to solve the problems of affordable housing. What are your strategies to tackle this problem? We're going to begin with Dr. Thomas, affordable housing. How are you going to approach that?
So affordable housing is definitely a hot topic in District 5. We have all these construction that's happening and potential developers that are coming in. So I believe with the community effort coming into play and people, the residents sitting at the table making, making their voice heard, having stakeholders at the table also making sure that, what they can offer our community. And, the city of Miami does have dollars to help with affordable housing. So tapping into those allocated funds will be something I will spearhead and see how we can minimize, the cost of affordable housing, maybe subsidizing in some kind of way. So speaking with staff, with finance and the budget office is definitely one way I will start assessing, what we need in the community as far as making sure that affordable housing is affordable for our constituents.
Candidate Alexandre, affordable housing, how will you tackle that?
Affordable for who? That's the question. It's not even about how you build that, because when the city has an average median income of 100%, right? So the scale is from 100 to 140. Instead of going to 140, they went down 100, right? That's still too expensive, right? We're looking to reduce that AMI to 60%. Make sure that we can afford people the right to live. And it's not affordable. We need to, especially with the dire need in District 5, with the lack of economic development that's already there, you already don't have an economy to sustain that type of affordable, what they call living. So the focus really is to talk about extreme low income, given the fact that majority of our residents in District 5 don't even have a what do you call it, annual income of $20,000 or more. So it's very important not only to get on the dais, but to shift and reshift the directions of the city to better understand our people and meet our people where it's at. So for me, it is about affordable living, which is a package deal of making sure that we can economically uplift our people and at the same time afford them the right to live.
Thank you, Candidate Alexandre. Candidate Hepburn, affordable housing, how will you tackle that?
Paying more than 50% of your disposable income on housing is absurd.
Yes.
Right.
And that's what we do in the city of Miami.
Yep.
So we're going to break it down in 4 ways. Mayor Francis Suarez, if you're watching this, my administration and our people in District 5 will hold you accountable to rehab, develop, and preserve 12,000 units of affordable housing that you mentioned that's going to be a part of our comprehensive housing plan. Second, we are going to continue to pour more than $1 million+ into a senior rental assistance program for our elders to make sure that they have the financial resources that they need to stay in their homes and their apartments while we're going through this transition. Third, we are going to push for something called strong, equitable community benefit agreements. So if you are a property developer in my city and in my district, and you are trying to rezone or have a special area plan or build higher and have more density, whatever it may be, come. I want you to come because I need housing, right? But our people will be at the table when we're making that decisions. A certain percentage of those houses will be workforce, rent to own, lower AMI rates for the folks on the lower income end. And then the last piece is we're definitely going to make sure that our homeowners, that is the backbone of my district, backbone of our city, is making sure they have the opportunity to stay in their homes, rehabilitate their homes, recognize them better for sea level rise and these other issues that we have. And I'm going to pass an ordinance that allows them to do something called an additional dwelling unit, because I'm about residual income, y'all. So if you have a single family lot and we have enough space to build a nice little duplex or apartment in the back or something like that, we're going to help you do that. So then you can either move into that or stay in your house and we'll rent that out for you. And then that money will be coming to you as well, so we can expand throughout our district. But one more thing, every land asset that the city of Miami has, public owned land, will be our initiative to push forth. So all the land that City of Miami has that we own, we will be identifying plots of land, parking lots, vacancies, dilapidated buildings, and we are converting those into a new affordable housing, as well as first-time homebuyer program initiatives. So that is what we're going to do to address affordable housing.
Ms. Candidate Fremont, affordable housing, huh? How will you tackle that?
Affordable housing. So piggybacking on what Michael Hepburn said, we have a same similarity with talking about the new developments going on. So as far as new developments going on, new ventures, I believe that with our administration, we would go ahead and I'll create a clause in their development that focus more on affordable housing. Make sure there's units that's there for affordable housing. Also, I've looked into city, county, and state regulations in regarding affordable housing, and it's vague. It's so vague. That's why it's a complex um, uh, a complex topic. As a commissioner, we need to make sure that, especially me when I become commissioner, that new developments are having affordable housing units in their projects. Also, these vacant lands here, there's been a lot of excuses not contacting these owners of these lands, and we must use our city's power to use these lands for the better of our people. Create more, let's say, homeless shelters. Let's use these vacant lands for the people and issues that we need to target on and we need to fix on. So when it comes to affordable housing, and me being your commissioner, that's what I would do. And learning more about affordable housing as the days progress, it will become more until you managing it day by day. So,
Thank you so much, Mr. Fremont. The next question will go first to Mr. Hepburn.
So me, let's do it.
Minority communities have been hit the hardest during this pandemic. What initiatives do you have planned to keep small businesses going and thriving during this difficult economic downturn?
Well, that's a good one. So we've tried to put together a comprehensive plan of agenda items, financial assistance, as well as what we called mitigated services from federal government, state government. But short version is, I'll give you an example. If in Little Haiti, we are thinking about creating a Little Haiti business improvement district. So all of our business owners will collectively come together, pay like a fee, like, to be in a fraternity sorority in a sense, that we will put in money into a pot that we can personally use to develop, engage marketing initiatives, new hire orientation, develop different skill sets that we can monetize within that area, but it's led by us. And then government is a partner, not the lead, a partner, because I got to get our people to start understanding that most of the solutions are us driven and government should be assisting that. But we don't have to wait for your mayor or your city council member to make a move. We have the power, we have the resources, we have the initiatives to do it. Second, when it comes down to making sure that we are providing what we call incubators and accelerator programs. So if you are an entrepreneur, right, and you had that great idea, linking you up with the financial channels to be able to implement that idea, linking you up to people that has been in the business a long time so you can have a mentor and helping you incubate the idea to flourishing. But if you're already a business, right, already thriving, maybe want to expand, putting you in an accelerate program so we can accelerate the effectiveness of your business, make it bigger, make it stronger, make it wider, right? So we can bring that revenue back into that district and then now bring in more people to do the same thing we just did with you. So just the concept of comprehensively making sure that we are addressing health concerns through making sure we are changing the concept of how we eat in our areas, how we deliver services in our areas, but also changing the concept of being more market diverse. What services, businesses, operations do you have in my district, which brings in new traffic, brings in new opportunities, brings in new development, then I can now turn that revenue into new ideas to redo it all over again. So that's what we're thinking.
Thank you, Mr. Hepburn. Same question goes to you, Dr. Thomas.
Thank you. I don't know if anybody else knows, but we do have a MIMO district development area in District 5. And there are strong business corridor on Biscayne Boulevard on the east and west side. So I am so happy to hear, to know that we have that in our district. So with that being said, looking at that model and how the businesses are thriving and also, bringing more business into our community, that's a concept I would like to bring into our other areas that are, have been impacted by COVID-19. We do have programs within the city that are beneficial to our businesses, but I believe there's a lack of communication when it comes to tapping into those resources. So sharing the information, having town hall meetings, having platforms where we can engage with communication with our businesses, I think is going to be important, and knowing what the needs are and helping them strategize and helping them tap into those grants that we do have available for our businesses. I also noticed in speaking with our businesses, a lot of them do not have the most, the paperwork is not in order. They don't know how to keep a tab on their accounting. So maybe we just need to have some educational awareness when it comes to our financial institutions stepping in and helping with that aspect. And I believe that's how we can at least start, with that strategy with our businesses in our area.
Thank you so much, Dr. Thomas. Mr. Fremont?
Yes, to make our business better, as your commissioner, we will make sure that our information is translated into the Spanish to Creole. Let all these information be clear, especially to our Haitian community, because that's area that we've been misinformed. And the reason why I believe, it's because they're targeting different areas in our district. As a commissioner, I will make sure that when there's a opportunity to make your business better by grants, by special programs, or by just external other areas to help you in your needs, be provided to you the best way possible. Right now, we're aware that in our community, especially in Little Haiti, I spoke to a lot of business owners, and their taxes are backed. They're unable to get the EIDL loan or the PPP loan because these value information were not there, and they did not have a way of getting this information in a timely manner, especially not knowing and doing business the traditional way with the composition book and writing everything in. It's time for us to make sure our information that's for the people is being passed on to everyone, and make sure everyone understands it in Creole, Spanish, and other languages. So that's your commissioner. Our team will make sure that these information is being passed on to the whole community and make sure everyone understands it.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. And finally, Mr. Francois, same
Yes, sir.
questions. Would you like me to repeat the question?
Go ahead, brother, please.
Okay. Minorities communities have been hit hardest during this pandemic. What initiatives do you have planned to keep small businesses going and thriving during this very difficult economic downturn?
Thank you for that question. I appreciate that. Just looking at the pandemic itself and seeing how the pandemic has shifted our lives, and the same process in District 5, particularly Little Haiti, during the pandemic, we are what we are considered a opportunity zone, which means that there's a lot of folks who didn't feel the impact, right, of the pandemic, but there's also a lot of them who plunged, right? You're talking about bike shops, a lot of mom and pop stores weren't coming back. So as a commissioner, knowing that I'm the commissioner for all the District 5, my focus is exactly Black people in District 5, and particularly Little Haiti, Liberty City, Overtown. And because why? Within my tenure here, I've seen all of these businesses trying to make it. Whether, like Stephanie says, whether it's the lack of education in terms of finances, or Michael Hepburn in terms of turning the human resources centers into offices, right? Not just offices, but research centers, and where people can come and get the information. Like Zico said, making sure that those information are written in Creole and English and so forth. All of that is needed now, needs to be implemented tomorrow. And that's the only way we're going to be able to uplift the small businesses, knowing that there's money down the pipeline, whether it's infrastructure, federal dollars, and even locally, right? When it comes to the Little Haiti Revitalization Trust, I'll give you an example of that. I can't say that I'm the only experienced person here when it comes to the dynamic of TIET, but I am, and rightfully so, because why? I really wish that when we did started looking at certain things, that the rest of my comrades that are here now would have come on board. But I was the youngest person in the city, and sitting negotiating with Magic City on behalf of our people. So in terms of the vision, right, the vision itself, I was the only young guy trying to carry a vision for an entire community. So what we got out of Magic City, do we like that? No. Could we have done better? Yes. Is there more developments coming? There are. With that community benefit package agreement, what it can do is allocate funds to uplift the small businesses in which that needs to be uplifted.
Thank you so very much for all of your answers. At this time, we're going to go to our Facebook feed. And we have one question coming from Mr. Rudy Shango Therapin. What plans do you have in place to provide a solution to address income disparity? We're going to go right to Mr. Hepburn. Your plans for income disparity.
So it is comprehensive. The funny part is we always talk about equality in this nation, right? But we need to talk about equity. We need to have real conversations about equity. So, and what I mean by that, people, is we need to start meeting people where they are, right? So everyone does not come from the same cookie cut background. Everyone does not have the same financial disparity. Everyone do not have the same lack of certain skill sets. But if we address our people on a personal basis to identify what is your weak point, what is the skill set that's needed for you to be retooled, what is your financial literacy background so I can understand how to get you to the next step? What is the concept of home ownership for you? Is that something you're interested in? Is owning a business something you're interested in? Is going back to school something you're interested in? Is you being a vendor in the city to go into our new tech sector, our transportation sector, our higher education sector is opportunity for you? Then we can start having some real questions about disparities. Because the truth is this, dealing with government is hard. Right. And most of the time, minorities are not getting any of the federal, state, even city contracts on a whole bunch of levels. So you're not having access to capital that way. Most of the time, minimum wages in most of our states that happen to be on the more Republican leaning side, it's against the law for a commissioner to say you're going to make $15 an hour or for me to mandate certain ordinances. Right. Because the law stops me from doing it. So when we talk about disparities, that is planned, y'all. People literally every day are fighting to take away your rights, put you in the bubble, isolate you from other people. So it's never going to be one law. There's never going to be one plan. You literally have to be comprehensive through talking about how we change the concept of housing, how we change the concept of what economy looks like, how we change the concept of what the workforce can be, how we talk about policing. So we're not necessarily having you with these fines and getting your record expunged and try to retool you after you leave incarceration. How we talk about single families, how we talk about young people, daycare centers, comprehensive. When you collectively come together to build out strong plans on all levels, then we can address disparities. If we continue to do it the same way that we've been doing for the last 7 years, then we're going to have these same conversations 7 years from now.
Candidate Fremont, income disparity, how would you tackle that?
Well, income disparity comes from a lot of levels. A lot of issues going to disability, going to mental health, going to not having a generational, wealth in America. So economic disparity, in my opinion, comes to, where you starting at. What's your disparity? Now, from there, you must realize that if you have a choice, or you have main concerns that's making you mental, physical, that's preventing you from moving up the ladder. So as your commissioner, we should focus on areas where income disparities are hitting, certain areas that needs to be fixed. Pretty much right now, I see with all of the new development going on, income disparity, I believe there's going to be more houseless people. Okay, we have a houseless issue going on right now. So as your commissioner and income disparity coming at this time, the way I look at it is that we need to make sure that everyone is on board of the new innovation the new things that's going on in Miami. Make sure they understand. Make sure they understand that most business right now are not accepting cash, and now you need to go digital. Be aware and make sure if you need more information and you have questions, there's a commissioner, there's a team with the commissioner that's going to provide you that information, so you would leave that income disparity bracket and just be in a livable wage, livable life.
Candidate Alexandre, income disparity, what would be your plan?
Well, let's look at the state plan. And by the year, 2026, that you're going to get $15 an hour. You time that by 13 months? That's less than $30,000 a year. So when you already look at the trajectory of government, the wealth gap is they're only expanding it on left or right. They're not trying to mitigate that. I believe because of things that are happening at the federal level and the state level, that's not in our control as in a municipality. We could be best advocate. We could be best lobbyists or advocate for a situation. However, I believe the one way you could do that locally is to start interjecting a different set of economy into District 5. With that economy is the blue-green economy. We're talking about the Green New Deal. We're talking about the red and black Green Deal. We're talking about higher paying wages, higher paying jobs. At the same time, the work that is being done has everything to do and is conducive with the Mother Earth in terms of how we're living. And we know for a fact a lot of our billionaires are leaving. Why? Because they feel like this is not an earth that we can sustain because of how we damage it. So it's so important that we look at what they call inclusivity when it comes to the wealth gap. And it's so important to look at how do we regenerate the earth, restore the waters, in the same process, make what they call a living wages out of it. And I'm a full advocate, climate warrior person that is really looking at the Green New Deal, the red and black Green New Deal as a means to close the wealth gap locally.
Thank you so very much for your wonderful answers. We're just checking back online. We don't see any more questions.
Shout out to my brother. He asked the first question.
Can I answer that question?
Oh,
Steph. I'm sorry.
absolutely. So sorry.
Stephanie, like, I have something to say.
I have something to say.
Absolutely. Dr. Stephanie Thomas, income disparity.
Income disparity.
How will you approach that?
So income disparity is not just one centralized problem, it's a community problem, right? And when I say community, meaning local municipality collaborating together to fight for one cause. So I believe the best way to do this is to have a legislation that would, help with the income disparity. Not only that, I spoke with a constituent of mine that we had a conversation about the same topic. She said, having $15 an hour, yes, that's great. But then what happens is the employers, they cut back on your hours. So there's, they have the living wages at 15, but they don't have enough hours to compensate for their livelihood. So it has to make sense, right? And like my colleagues have said, it's on a federal level, those changes can be made, but a collaborative effort with all local municipality with legislation, I believe that's the starting point so that we can make our voices heard.
Excellent. Again, my apologies. Thank you so very much for all of these amazing answers. Checking nothing on Facebook. We're going to go and move to our last and final question.
Cool.
And then we'll go into the candidates' final words. At this time, back to you, Anthony.
Okay, well, the final questions for every candidate, and I'll start with Mr. Zico Fremont first. Why should the residents of District 5 trust you with their vote?
Because my word is bond. That's my motto. My word is bond. I've been shook. I've been trembled. I've been put down. But I still rise. I still keep coming up the ladder. I'm 5'3". but I still keep coming up the ladder, keep on going. And I keep on going because of the people that raised me, the people that I'm around. I keep on going. And this is what we're going to keep on doing. We're going to keep on going. When there's so much issues going on, so much things to adopt your way of living, your way of thinking. I'm the leader. You know why I'm the leader? Because it's not just one of me, it's all of us. So if I keep on going, we keep on going. Never anything, natural disasters, Mom, we Haitians. We Bahamians, we Cubans. We go over all these hurricanes and we keep on going. So this is who I am. And this is my word. And this is why my word is bond. And this is why you can trust me. Because mainly our people are speaking about affordable housing. They're speaking about livable wages. They're speaking about public safety, and they're talking about our generations. And these people are me. So what we're putting across, why I'm running, why we are supporting our community is because we see an issue and we're going to resolve it, and we're going to resolve it because we all keep on going. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fremont. Next, Dr. Stephanie Thomas.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Okay, the final question is, why should the residents of District 5 trust you with their vote?
So why should they trust me with their vote? Well, I have been a public servant all my life. My mom is always the person giving, and growing up in a household that we used to have family come over to our homes, and our house was always an open door. So that's how I am. As the commissioner of District 5, my door will always be open. I believe that I have served our community well, especially here working in the city of North Miami. I've been here for almost 20 years, served about 6 mayors and a few of our other elected officials. So I believe I have been cultivated and into this environment where I can give, I can be genuine, I can also be open with our constituents, and I am a very good listener. So with that, I believe my delivery will be impactful, and people are, pleased with me. And wherever I am at the city, people come look for me. I don't know why, but for some reason, they're always looking for Stephanie, and I can never hide, and I don't hide, but I'm here. I'm a genuine person, and I'm a very open-hearted person as well. So I appreciate that question.
Thank you so much, Dr. Thomas. Mr. Hepburn,
What's on me?
you're next.
Cool.
Why should the residents of District 5 trust you with their vote?
I'm gonna start with this, y'all. Titles are cool. I have a lot of them, right? I'm a former executive for the National Football League. I am a civic activist. I am the current executive director for a nonprofit. I am a Miami Herald Silver Knight, legacy of Miami 40 under 40, right? I mean, titles are cool, but purpose is so much better. I am in this race because of the conviction and the purpose that I have to put our people first. I am asking people to vote for me, not for what we are getting ready to do, but for the stuff we have already done. Y'all came to me and said, let's do something about illegal dumping. I already wrote legislation with some of our commissioners and increased the budget this fiscal year, changed the amount of trucks that we have coming around picking up illegal dumping sites and garbage on our streets, and more to come. Y'all talked to us about having plastics in our waterways. I wrote legislation with Commissioner Kim Russell that changed the concept of how we get rid of what they call polystyrene in our district and in our city. You talked to me about making sure that we don't have police officers coming to every call with lethal weapons on their hip. Wrote legislation with the chief that was let go to now have social workers actually show up when you call 911. And if it's not a mandatory lethal call, you won't have a cop come. You will have someone from JMH and other public servants showing up in the unmarked car to come and provide service to you. I did up all of that, being a civic activist and a leader in this community, and I'm not even elected. The biggest difference is this: as your commissioner, they're gonna pick up the phone faster. It's easier for me to tell them to allocate funds over here. It's better for me to have access to my administration to do stuff because now I am the City of Miami commissioner from District 5. I am not asking you to vote for me based upon what we're going to do. I'm asking you to look at my record and vote for me based upon what I have done and will continue to do.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hepburn. And last but not least, Mr. Francois.
Thank you so
Why
much.
should the residents of District 5 trust you with their vote?
Thank you so much for that question. And for the record, there's no such thing as living wage with $15 an hour. You just can't do it. Inflation, everything that's going on, you can't do it at $15 an hour. That's why you need somebody to. And that's, I look at this as an overhaul, right? So why would somebody trust me? Resiliency. 7 years ago, I got beat up by the police, the same city, same police department. And I was at that time I was living in a high rise. We're talking about something that happened 7 years ago and that's still prevalent to today. The case is not shut. I'm going to court. Matter of fact, I was supposed to go to court before election. They said I was a conflict of interest, right? Conflict of interest, what, 7 years ago? I have not let up. I have not wavered. And I'm still fighting the same thing. So I say this to say what? That you have a fighter in me. You have a consistent fighter that's gonna keep going in the days fighting for you. That's all. It's not about whether or not I have a plan. It's about how consistent and passionate I'll be to make sure that I can carry the agenda, the people's agenda. So with that being said, I'm looking forward to being the next commissioner of District 5 and ready to work.
Thank you, candidates. Thank you so very much for all that are tuned in. We're just going to give a few shout outs. We thank Jean-Marie Alexandre that is tuned in on Facebook.
That's my brother.
Simplice that is tuned in on Facebook. Emmanuel Charles tuned in on Facebook. We thank Rudy Shango tuned in on Facebook. We thank Edwige Mateo tuned in on Facebook. We thank Councilwoman Carol Keys tuned in on Facebook. Thank you so very much. We really appreciate all those that are tuned in. This is extremely important. As I stated earlier, all
Did you think elections?
All elections
all is matter.
It's all local, right,
Vote
guys?
for
Always local.
All local. Okay, all politics is all
Yeah, all
local.
politics is
So
definitely
it's all about you actually being able to make a decision in the now that is not just going to affect what you're going through right now, but that is going to affect the future of your children. You need to ensure that you choose the best qualified person to represent you, your family, and even the business owners that are, as a small business owner, I know it's extremely important for you to have the right person serving you. So we thank you for tuning in. We thank you for sharing the live and telling someone that we are on. And at this time, we're going to go back to the candidates and we're going to get some final words, beginning with Dr. Stephanie Thomas.
So from Vaillant, we're resilient in District 5. I am so happy that I was here with my colleagues here, and I hope when we do win, or one of us win this seat, which is going to be me, I will bring them on board with me because it's so important to have, people that are so passionate about their community. And when you know they're passionate, you know the work can be done. Please visit my website at www.electstephaniethomas.com. Vote for number 415. And I'm so happy I was here with everyone. And thank you for the opportunity again.
Excellent. Mr. Fremont, your final words.
What's the 411? Vote for Zico Fremont. That's the 411.
That's the ballot.
Thank you for having me, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. This has been a great honor. Thank you, guys. Thank you, team. And we all won. We all won already. There's no loss. I won. I got the opportunity. I got the experience. When you're looking for jobs in Miami and they're saying you have to lack experience, I realize you create the experience.
Mm-hmm.
And you create the experience with the people you know. This used to be my student advisor at Student Government Association at FIU. And look around.
Alma mater.
Kobe played. It's like Jordan and Kobe, So Stephanie Thomas, I've interned for the city of North Miami. Francois, we stay in the same hood. We stay in the same neighborhood, and we always advocate. We give food, we give toys to the kids, and Christmas. So this is family right here. And thank you again. God bless you all, and God bless America.
That's what's up.
Candidate Francois Alexandre, your final words.
We are no longer living in Moses' time. This is the Joshua time. And what that means is ushering a new dawn, a new beginning by bridging community to better government. That means an overhaul of that dysfunctional Miami, city of Miami government, and replacing it with real people that has values rooted in community willing to solve them. So what I say that make sure you go out and vote. Punch in ballot 410. I'm the first one in there. Very first one, 410, 415, no, 410. You know, the ancestors did that for me, you know? And guess why? I'm the first person you call. My last name start with an A. Everything's aligned right now. The year 2021 is for me. Not just for me, but because of what I've been able to do to stay resilient, that I'm sharing my love, I'm sharing everything of who I am with the people, because it's for the collective greater good.
Candidate Michael Hepburn, your final words.
Final words, I'll leave y'all with some departing words. One, this government is only as good as it's going to be when you're involved and you get to that point, right? So you have to be engaged, right? Government will never be what you need it to be if you're not there. Two, perseverance is key. Always, please understand that. Please believe that. Three, it's been an honor to be here today with all of you, right? I am deeply inspired each and every day, because viewers, running for office is not easy. It is hard. We are normal people. We are like you, right? And putting yourself out there, your aspirations, your dreams, your goals in front of all of y'all to figure out and pick and understand who we are and who we are not is not easy. So it is very commendable to take a step to be a servant leader in our neighborhoods. Last is this. Putting people first is not just a mantra. It is a way of life. If we really want to move our city forward, we need to cultivate that way of life in our actions, right? None of us are Messiah, right? So none of this stuff happens through one person. It, collectively speaking, when working class people come together and when y'all stay inspired and you fight for the stuff that you believe in, woo, we can do some things, right? But you got to believe that. You got to vote. You got to be engaged. So I am number 412. Not blessed like the first one on the ballot, right? Well, I'm number 412. My name is Michael A. Hepburn, and it would be an honor and a pleasure of a lifetime for me to be able to serve the place that I am from, the city that made me who I am, and the neighborhoods that instill the grit and the perseverance and the concept of one person can make a difference. And I learned that from District 5. No, let me be specific. I learned that from living in Little Haiti. So thank you.
Thank you so much to all the candidates. I really appreciate it. What I must start off by saying is that I was inspired by a lot of what you said. A lot of the ideas that were shared today, such as the urgent care in Little Haiti, such as the strategy to address affordable housing, such as yours, the commitment to making sure that people in Little Haiti is fed, and the ideas regarding blockchain and using technology. Those are some of the ideas I think will lead us into the 21st century. The ideas that you shared today and the way you guys have the camaraderie that you have and the way you believe that you all will be successful regardless of who wins shows us that there is a new wave of democracy that's coming into District 5 that should be impressive and commended by everyone. But I must speak to the voters of District 5 now and say, you have 4 candidates here today who are amazing candidates and have an amazing platform, and any one of these candidates will be a resource to the city. Regardless of whoever wins, I do believe that the next set of leaders that is coming out of District 5 in Little Haiti, maybe Overtown, I do believe that they will be in good hands between the 4 of you guys who will stay in the city, stay engaged, and stay committed to the work that needs to be done. So I commend you guys for that, and I think District 5 has a very tough and difficult decision picking amongst these 4 leaders that they have. But that also shows that District 5 has produced some remarkable leaders as well. So I thank you guys for being here. Thank you for the opportunity. And also thank you guys so much for introducing yourselves to the Haitian community. I know a lot of them weren't aware of some of your platforms, but now they know who you are. They are informed by what you can provide to them, and we'll see how it turns out November 2nd. I wish all of you the best of luck, and thank you so much for allowing us to host you guys today and take time out of your early voting
I know,
schedules
right?
as well. Okay.
Go vote.
Thank
Go
you so
vote.
much, yes. Go out and vote.
Go vote. I ain't even vote. No, I'm joking. I vote.
As
I
we-
vote.
As we close today's candidate forum for City of Miami Commission Seat 5, we want to thank all 4 candidates that came in today into the Balancing Life studio in the city of North Miami to do this presentation before the Haitian American community and share who they are, their plans, their vision, and the steps that they're going to take in order to ensure that we are engaged. OK, n'a voté. Faut connaître que vote c'est une plus gros pouvoir que ou gagner. Ou gon responsabilité pour exercer pouvoir ça et pour exercer pouvoir ça nan qui ça qui pral bon pour ou même, qui pral bon pour petit tout, qui pral bon pour petit tout. Again, thank you so very much for everyone who tuned in. Today is early voting. It is the first day of early voting. Please go out, find out where your early voting sites are. It's going to last for 2 weeks. Make sure that your voice is heard. Today's the first day. You have a couple of more days, but listen, there's nothing like getting it done on the very first day. You never know what's going to happen. So make a plan, get out there, District 5, and let's vote. En al voter. This is Dr. Naomi Blamire, co-founder of Balancing Life, an accountant and a small business owner in the city of North Miami. It was a pleasure to have you. Have a great day.
I want to vote black. I want to vote black.
I know, right?